Hi friends, welcome to Joy Fido International. My name is Joy Fido and welcome on board. So you know what Joy Fido stands for? Let's start thinking. Let's start thinking means it sounds to me, not really sounds, but we know from our experiences, from the life we've had, from the problems we've been dealing with, that we haven't been thinking. Why can I say that, or why am I saying that? As a race, Africans, we have just allowed ourselves to be led by other people. Other races have been leading us and trying to tell us what to do, how to go about it, where to. It's like, they tell us do this and we do it. We don't even ask why. We don't even question. We just do it. And then it's made us become, like I keep saying, Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 7, and it says that he sees princes riding on, he sees slaves riding on horseback and princes walking. And Deuteronomy 28, if you read through, it says, I'll make you the head and not the tail. So what's been going on is we Africans, we've lost who we are, and so other people have been making us tails. Because now when you're following somebody and somebody's leading you and telling you what to do, you're naturally behind that person, so you are a tail. And if we, the owners of the land, have not been tilling our land and using the resources God gave us, then practically we are now the slaves in our land, while other people are coming and using our resources and using it to punish us, practically. Meaning they are now the ones riding on the horses. People who are supposed to be slaves to us because they are taking our thing, they are now the ones riding the horses, taking all the trillions away from our continent, while we are now begging them for loans and for pittance and for, oh yeah, we're gonna send some aid to Africa. So those type of things bother me. And that's why, as Joy Fido International, I'm begging us to start thinking. But today's topic is about Africans accept your greatness. That's the title. Africans accept your greatness. And it's not just greatness, but our great inheritance. See, we have inherited such amazing wealth from God, from nature. God gave us so much. When you look into Africa, if you've been following the trend of this discussion, the videos I've been doing, there's so many books out there. Everyone is talking about it. Everyone is talking about what is going on in Africa that is wrong, except us Africans who don't know what is going on in our continent. We don't know it. And seriously, I belong to some groups and some WhatsApp groups and Facebook groups, and all we are looking at is our leaders, but we don't know where the bigger problem is coming from. Is this other races? So we are not getting it, that these people are coming there to cause this confusion. Yes, you may say our leaders are complicit, supporting, helping, aiding and abetting, but the bigger problem is from outside. And so anyone they know, and they've written it, people have written it, people who know the truth are all telling us, anyone who controls Africa right now controls the world. And so how is that true? It's true because the amount of natural resources in Africa is helping all these other countries develop, is helping them grow. And so they know if they can go to Africa, grab it, pay no price for it, take it to their country, do what they want to do with it, help their people, they're in charge. So we need to accept who we are, because we are naturally blessed with so much. We are blessed with gold, diamond, platinum, uranium. There's this ingredient, this natural resource that is used in all these phones that are made. I don't know the exact name, but I need to find out. I think coal tar or something like that. That is also coming from Africa, especially Congo. So many other things. We have all the fruit trees. When you think of things like mangoes and oranges and uncountable fruit trees, and the natural oils that just span across as many, when you talk about coconut oil, you talk about palm oil, you talk about, and Malaysia got palm oil from Africa. And today Malaysia is one of the biggest producers of palm oil. Palm oil can be used in any cosmetic industry, but we don't know it and we don't do anything with it. Same thing with coconut oil. And then you're not talking about all the other oils that are just in abundance. I've talked about the fruit trees. They're all there. And when you look at all this food, especially when you live in the West here and you see every little tub of this and tub of that, they say infused with mango, infused with this and infused with that, avocado. These are things that are in abundance with us. But do we use it? Do we use them? We just think it's just to put it in our mouth and drop it out. These things are used to create different things. Even in cosmetics, there's mango butter that is used in making cosmetics. What's it called? Palm oil, the nuts in there, is also used in making cosmetics. Not to talk about the oil itself. So it's like, there's so much. And when you go further down, what about our culture? Our culture is so rich. You talk about the drums, you talk about the songs. We are the only ones who don't appreciate who we are. And that's why this title says, accept your greatness. Africans, accept your greatness. We have been blessed. And you remember I've shown you a book on this, melanin. And if you type in melanin on YouTube, you see what people are talking about melanin. And what is our next greatest thing? Sunshine. We have sunshine 12 months of the year. How many countries have got that? As I'm sitting here now, this is supposed to be, what is this? This is nearly June, but I'm still sitting with a heater, heating me up. You don't get that we never have to worry about things like that in Africa. Because the sun is another healing agent. When people start suffering from arthritis and sicknesses that because your blood is cold and it's congealed and so it's not moving around, you don't get that in a place where there's sunshine. And that's why when we go on holiday coming from the West, everybody chases the sun. Very rarely do you see people go, oh, let me go chase winter. Yes, you may go to a country because of some other thing. Maybe you want to go visit a particular, sightseeing place or some amazing thing that's happening in that place. Not necessarily for the weather. Nobody travels for cold weather. But everyone chases the sun. So that's another great thing that Africa has. And yet in tourism, you don't hear people thinking, oh, because there's an amazing thing going on in Nigeria, for instance, let me visit Nigeria. But recently I went to Morocco and it was amazing the number of people trooping to Morocco. There's sun and then there's so much to see. Because this country appreciates the fact that there's something called tourism. And so they put in facilities and they will allow their culture to be displayed, they will allow things to be happening. And so people are traveling the world to come and see these things. So the rest of us in Africa, we need to wake up to this. We need to accept who we are. Because while we are hopping into the plane and chasing the West, and chasing US, and chasing Dubai, People would love to come and see our culture. People would love to come and see our traditions. People would love to come out and see our history. And our history is gradually being cleaned out. So we need to wake up and create these things, reinvent these things, revive these things. Because when we start reviving them, our children will be employed. And there will be no, all this unemployment going on in Africa. It has to stop. Because if we look inwards and see all these natural resources that God has given us, we're going to find out that there's a lot for us to do. And that's why I just feel right now it's like a green vegetation that we're dealing with. Because when you come to the West, it's like everything that could be done has been done, and they are still looking for what's the next thing to do, what's the next thing to do. But for us in Africa, we haven't done anything. Everything is still waiting to be done. And this is where I feel, the sooner we look inwards and allow ourselves to learn, allow ourselves to start using our natural thinking capability to start dreaming up what we can be creative with. Because it's our creativity that's lacking. And I tell you, I understand what happened to us, because right from slavery, the whole nonsense about slavery and being moved around and thrown all over the world and being made to think that what we had was wrong, being made to feel like things we did were inferior. These things were deliberate. They were deliberate to practically confuse us, deliberate to break our spirit, deliberate to weaken us such that when they come over and take our things, we would not even know what's going on. But I'm sorry, this has changed now. Now we are aware. Now people have been writing. Everybody's telling us what's going on. We need to now wake up. We need to now stand up and say, enough is enough. We need to now look back into ourselves and see what we are capable of doing. Because that's what's missing. We don't have that capability to turn the natural resources we have into what we want to make of them. Because even in the Bible, in Genesis, God said, go ye and multiply. He's given us everything. Genesis chapter 1, go in there and you see, go ye and multiply after he created man and woman. Go ye and multiply. What our misunderstanding was, go ye and have more children. That's what you hear most pastors who preach to you. But that's not what God was just referring to. He's given you land, he's given you fish, he's given you trees, he's given you this, he's given you that. Go and multiply, go and turn it around, go and make it to whatever state you think it's okay for you to handle. And that's why there's a book I read that's talking about, it says the science of getting rich. It is endless. Our capability is endless. This thing in our brain, our head called brain, can multiply anything around. We don't have to allow ourselves, I call it poverty mindset, to keep accepting that we are poor, because we're not poor. We're not poor in any form. The amount of natural things that's in our hands, it weakens me to know that we, the owners of wealth, are the ones who are actually presenting ourselves as the poor ones. That's what the Bible said. I see servants riding on horseback, where princes are walking. That passage, I can never get over it. Because the amount of capability we have, we need to look into it. We need to start thinking. We need to start asking questions. I remember growing up as a child in Rivers State, and there's a state called Aba next to us, or now it's called Abia State, I think. But there's a city then called Aba next to us, from Imo State then. And Aba could manufacture anything. They were like the Chinese in Nigeria. They could turn anything around and create things. Some people used to make fun of them. Oh, Aba made. But they knew what they were doing. They could use their brain and think. And today, none of that exists. Because everyone now is trying to be a thug. Everyone is trying to be a kidnapper. Everyone is trying to steal from this one and steal from that one. That's not where we want to be. If we allow our brain to start thinking, Nature has provided us everything that we need. And it's all down to us to start using our mind. Open it up. Be curious. This is where the course I'm doing right now is talking about human resource. This is where we need to find different areas where we can fit in. What can we do? How can we help each other? How can we support each other? How can we guide each other? For those of us with knowledge, how can we go back home and share it with our people so that we can all put our heads together and take away this anger, this jealousy, this hatred, this envy? If we can take all of that out and start to allow ourselves to work, there will be enough for all of us in Africa. And if we can put our heads together, we will be able to chase all these people who think that we're so foolish that all they have to do is keep coming and taking away from us. We will be able to do that. Because by the time we sit on the table and say, let's negotiate, let's talk, when you take this from us, what are you giving us back? And we sit and face each other on the same level, then there'll be respect for us. Then people will appreciate the fact that this continent is not for idiots. So we need to accept who we are. And you know what they say? Acceptance is the first step to growth. Because once you accept that this thing is happening, you will then find a way to move forward. But denial is what stops us from growing. And this is where we've been. We've been in this place where we are denying, we are not accepting the fact that we have a rich heritage. We have a rich culture. We have a rich history. It's one of the things I really want to go into, understanding our African history, because for centuries, the Western world, the rest of the world have blocked our history. They blocked it because they know that if they allow us to know what our great-great-great-grandparents did in the past, we will think, we will rise up, we will be awake to the reality. So they've been deliberately blocking our history. But I think anybody out there listening to me that has any knowledge of where there is any information on African history, please start pulling them out. I'll be very grateful if you can share them with me. Because I actually did go to Nigeria searching for African history and I could not find anything. Why? Because they've been told that history is what's causing wars. But it's not. European history is still intact. American history is still intact. Russian history is still intact. Chinese history is still intact. I've done courses where they will refer, oh, this came from Chinese 15th century. It was only when I went to Morocco that I realized that there was so much history on Africa. Because they have museums that show these different things that happened centuries ago. Why couldn't I find that in Nigeria? So we need to go back into our history, because see, once we do that, they call it time, I think it's not time management, it's timeline. They call it timeline. If you go on your timeline and delete something that happened in a particular time, you find that that time now becomes clean. So if we go into our timeline and take away slavery and look at the history that happened before slavery happened, you're going to find that you no longer feel inferior. You no longer feel small, to the point that all they want to do is throw bananas on our children playing football on the field. We don't want that anymore. I mean, can you imagine the recent one that happened where Meghan Markle, Prince Harry's wife, just had a baby? Everyone's excited. She's mixed. So she has black in her and then she has white in her. But what will this, I don't even know his name, this man who works for BBC. To him it was a joke. He went and tweeted, Royal Baby Leaves Hospital. And what baby was this? A chimpanzee. A chimpanzee. Is that still where we are in the 21st century? People still seeing black people as chimpanzee? Why? Because they cut away our history. They cut off. After they came and carted us away as slaves, they put that in place and blocked off everything that happened before slavery happened. This is where we need to be. We need to take back our history. We go back into our history, we find out what our great-great-grandparents did, look into what they even achieved while they got to America, which is another history on its own. We'll find out we do not need all this nonsense inferiority complex they want to force on us. We need to accept that we're great people. And so I'm going to really leave it here today. It's a short one. So please share this video with your friends. Give us a thumbs up. Just follow this channel because there's so much more coming your way. It is something I'm hugely passionate about, to take us out of this nonsense of inferiority complex. I want us to stand up as a people. I want us to accept our greatness. I want us to look into the natural resources that God has given us in surplus in Africa. I want us to start using our hands, using our mind, using our brain. I want us to create an amazing future for our children and generations unborn. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Share with your friends, give us a thumbs up, like it, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. God bless you as always.